So I'm here at the Callaway Performance Center in Carlsbad, California, and I've got Roger Cleveland, the man who's been designing Callaway's wedges for a long time here. And Raj, I have a lot of questions when it comes to short game. I don't think that there's another category within the golf equipment world where you have to marry not only the technology and understanding how to build a club, as much as you have to also apply an understanding of technique and how you're actually going to use the club. There's a lot of ways to putt, for example, left hand low, claw grip, different things. But when it comes to short game, players have to understand what wedges are designed to do and then use them in a certain way. What have you learned about that, that you can sort of share it onto? Because most people don't understand, I think, a lot of times, how to properly use a wedge.
Everybody learns their big swing, okay? And you learn it with the driver and your fairway woods. You start to get into your irons. Mm-hmm. And when you're big, let's talk about irons.
Yeah.
You want to hit the ball first.
Sure. Yep. Hit
right?
down on it.
Hit down on it. Compress it. Would you go if you go to a? If I can just.
Yeah.
If you go to a position like a 7-iron, mm-hmm. okay. If I'm hitting a 7-iron, I want to have my forward shaft lean. I want to be compressing the ball. I'm going to be hitting that ball first. Okay. I'm going to be moving across and hitting this first. The most difficult wedge shots are when you get close to the green.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's about 40 yards is kind of the magic number. On in, there's a different technique.
Okay.
Okay, so if I'm right here, so all irons have a bounce.
Yes.
It's a graduated bounce.
And I think a lot of recreational golfers don't realize that even your 7-iron has bounce. Your 5-iron, it may not have a lot, but it's there.
Bounce is the angle where your trailing edge is lower than your leading edge. So in a wedge, it's the shortest club in the bag, so you're going to have more bounce, okay, than you do a 7-iron. 7-iron typically is 6 to 7 degrees of bounce. Okay, not a lot. But here you need more bounce because you're typically steep. But the technique, you need to use that bounce, and people don't understand how to do that.
So Roger, I want to sort of bring that up to you because one of the things that during the lockdown when we didn't get out as much, I had an opportunity to start taking some lessons, and my teaching pro, if I can sort of show you something here real quick, had me hitting a series of wedge shots because my biggest problem was from 40 or 50 yards and in.
Right.
And I got actually rather proficient at hitting shots just like that with one hand. Yeah. I actually feel proud that I can do that on camera on demand.
Absolutely.
But what invariably happens to me, and maybe some other people, is when I put my normal grip and go two hands, I do that. And I'm not trying to make that up. That happens to me all the time.
Right.
What is happening? What is going on where obviously, in this case, I can do something with one hand reasonably well. When I put two hands on, things go to heck.
Well, if you address the ball, the width of your swing decreases.
With two hands?
With two hands.
Okay.
And you stop. And you take that width and you bottomed out about an inch before the ball. Okay. The other thing that happens is that you had forward shaft lean there, you're taking bounce off. The one-handed, you're releasing the club head much earlier. You need to release it and let it feel like it's dropping. Gravity is letting it drop. That's what that drill.
So coming down here more to keep that forward shaft lean out. We want to let the club head.
Yeah, you want to be neutral. You want to be at 90 degrees here.
So when I make contact sort of underneath and coming to the ball, that shaft is going to go straight up and down.
That's
not
right.
tip forward where, as you can see, I'm going to end up digging in.
You want to be using that.
Okay, let's give that a shot here for a second.
So go take it back. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's take it back a little further. Mm-hmm. That's all. Okay.
Yep.
When you're there, you got to feel. This is going to feel like it stays high, and this like you're decoupling.
Okay.
Your big swing, everything goes like this.
Right.
So here you got to decouple. You got to keep that high and let that release. The club head.
So I almost want to feel like I'm dropping or throwing, casting. Okay. So into here, let that come down.
Let it come down.
All right.
But you don't. The other thing that happens, ideally, you want to take some set wrist cock out of this 30, 40 yard shot. So a little bit less and let it drop.
That works.
A big swing, you're hitting the ball first. Here, you're actually letting...
the bottom of the club is striking the ground first, isn't it? Which I think a lot of people don't have that understanding. You always hear like, oh, you want to hit down, you want to compress it. But when you get into these 30 and 40 yard shots, am I right in thinking that like the ball is actually, the club head's actually going to come in and hit just behind the ball, but that's where the higher bounce is going to help it work through the turf.
Like a skid plate.
Like a skid plate. So just like that. Okay, that's what, $300 or $400 for you for the
Yeah.
hour? That's not bad.
No, that's for 10 minutes.